Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm going to be looking at the LA Rams and giving 3 bold predictions for them in the upcoming 2021 season. But before we get into that topic, question for those of you viewing, just a simple question. What do you think the Rams record will be next season? And of course, keep into consideration that there's 17 games. So you think they're going 14-3, 10-7, 12-5, whatever it is, comment down below and you kind of hear my answer throughout. But getting straight into it, my number one bold prediction is going to be Matt Stafford is going to fight to be ranked as a top 5 quarterback in the league. And I know that may sound extremely bold, but just looking at the transition he's making, he's going to an offensive line that he's never had before. He's going to a coaching staff, a very offensive-minded and innovative coaching staff in Sean McVay that he's never had before. You know, he's had Jim Caldwell and Matt Patricia. This is a huge upgrade for him. The coaching staff, O-line, I already said, the backfield, he's never had this type of run game to rely on, and Cam Akers compared to who did he have last year? Adrian Peterson, DeAndre Swift didn't really pan out in his rookie year. Receiving core, yes, he's had Megatron in the past, and he's never probably gonna have a receiver as good as Megatron in one solo player, but he's never had a receiving core this deep and good all around, in my opinion. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, Deshaun Jackson, old man Deshaun Jackson might still have some speed, some gas in the tank. I don't know. But I do think this is the deepest and best receiving core he's ever had head to toe. So just looking at the offense overall, Matt Stafford, he's already a top 10 quarterback in my opinion. I think he's going to make possibly the jump to top 5. And there's a number of reasons. I think a fair consensus of who the top 5 quarterbacks in the league are. I think a lot of people would agree the top 4 are Mahomes, Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, whatever order you want them in. Again, Mahomes, Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, again, interchangeable. And number 5 is interchangeable between probably Brady, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. To me, that would be anyone's top 5 roughly. So how is Matt Stafford going to get in there? Well, for a number of reasons. Tom Brady, while he's still the GOAT, I mean, the dude's going to be turning 44. He's just coming off a knee injury. I'm not going to be surprised if he slips to, the bottom 6 through 10 range in quarterbacks if he's not there already. So that's one he could probably already jump over. Deshaun Watson's not going to play next season. Yeah, I can rank him as a top 5 quarterback today, but once the season starts, I'm only going to be counting the quarterbacks that are already playing. So he's going to fall from the list. And Aaron Rodgers, who's to say he won't fall out of the list? Is he going to retire? We don't know. I don't think that'll happen, but I'm just saying there are some possible moves for Matt Stafford to get up there for him to rise because of the transition he's making in the teams, just the talent around him. He's going to be better, and the couple of quarterbacks that might be dropping back. And of course, there's always the possibility of injuries. If Mahomes gets hurt, if Josh Allen gets hurt, if Lamar gets hurt, that's going to open up a spot for top 5. And I'm not banking on an injury to happen in order to Matt Stafford to get in, but I'm just saying there's a number of variables that could go Matt Stafford and the Rams' way for him to be a top 5 quarterback. I think even without injuries, even with Deshaun Watson playing, even with Aaron Rodgers playing, if everything went against Matt Stafford, just with the amount of talent around him, he could still jump to top 5. Because like I said, I think 1 through 4 is pretty locked in for a lot of people, a lot of scouts, analysts, GMs, fans, whoever you're asking. I think a lot of people would agree in any order, Mahomes, Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and Russell Wilson are the top 5 quarterbacks. In that number 5 spot, that's where things are really up for grab, and that's when you start asking people, opinions start changing, and since there's some flexibility there's some flexibility for Matt Stafford to move up and possibly take that position. I'm not saying he's a top 5 today, but I think throughout the season, by the end of the season, we might be saying the transition from Detroit to LA really upped his game, and we've never really even seen him scratch the surface of his potential before. Now he's the best of the best and is a top 5 quarterback, and that's just with the things going against him. And like I said, with Deshaun not playing, with someone maybe getting hurt, with Aaron Rodgers maybe not playing, now the spots and now the possibilities even more likely. So I definitely think he has a chance at fighting to be a top 5 quarterback in the league. Next bold prediction, another top 5, is I think the Rams will have a top 5 offense in the league and a top 5 defense. On defense, they did lose just a minor, I don't want to say minor, they definitely lost some weapons in John Johnson, one of their captain safeties, a good slot corner in Troy Hill, but the powerhouse talent is still there. You got your big names, Jalen Ramsey, number 1 corner in the league, Aaron Donald, number 1 defensive player in the league. That alone is going to make you a great defense. That alone gets you in the top 10. No ifs, ands, or buts, and that alone might get you in the top 5 ifs, ands, or buts, but they're not alone. You got Leonard Williams on the front line to help out Aaron Donald on the pass rush. You got Darius Williams, who's actually a really good corner that doesn't get a lot of spotlight because he's behind Jalen Ramsey. they have a lot of depth and a lot of talent on this team all around. And of course, like Sean McVay's very offensive minded and innovative on the offense, he can handle the defense just as well. I don't know if they'll be the number one defense in the league again like they were last year. They did lose their defensive coordinator, Brandon Staley, but I still think they're going to be top 5 in the offense. Kind of already made my claim there. If Matthew Stafford's going to be a top 5 quarterback, there's a good chance they could be a top 5 offense. I just think everyone is pretty much assuming, and it's very easy to predict that this team might have a top 5 offense just looking at what they had last year. They still got 10 wins, and that was with Jared Goff, and now you're going from a bottom 10 quarterback in Jared Goff to a top 10 quarterback in Matt Stafford. Clearly, if you already had an above average offense last year, top 5 might not be super bold, but I think to predict having a team that has both top 5 offense and defense is pretty bold, and I think it's actually pretty likely. Like I said, you got a top 10 quarterback. You have one of the deepest receiving cores. You don't have the best one. You got the Bucs, who have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Scotty Miller, Rob Gronkowski, and you got the Chiefs. I don't know if they're as deep as the Rams in the receiving core, but the star power is there. Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Travis Kelce. Brown's got a good one. OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, Austin Hooper, David Njoku. Not saying the Rams aren't as good or worse than any of these teams, but I'm saying they're right on par with the top ones. Like I said, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, Deshaun Jackson. This is a deep receiving core, one of the best in the NFL. You have a very up-and-coming and emerging backfield in Cam Akers. I think he could fight to be a top 10 running back. All these things are going to be in contingency of these guys, really upping their game. But that's what you expect to happen when you're in the NFL, when you play on the LA Rams, one of the big blockbuster teams, when you have a new face of the franchise in Matt Stafford, and you have one of the best coaches in the NFL and Sean McVay. I think a lot of these guys' games are going to be upped, and they're just going to feed off each other. Stafford's going to feed off the receiving core is going to feed off of him. Offensive line's going to help out Cam Akers. Cam Akers is going to help get points, up the game all around, and same for defense. You already have the star power, the blockbuster names, and Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. I think it's clear-cut that the Rams are going to have a top 5 defense. I think the bigger question is on top 5 offense, but of course, both are up for debate. Of course, if Aaron Donald gets hurt, all this will change. Of course, if Matthew Stafford gets hurt, all this will change. But, giving them the benefit of the doubt, assuming there's not going to be injuries because you don't really want to bank on that, I do think this team is going to have a top 5 offense and top 5 defense, and I think that's a big reason I have them going to the NFC Championship this year. I guess that's not really one of my bold takes, but it is a prediction because I feel like it's not that bold to say the Rams are going to make the NFC Championship. I think a lot of people are predicting that, so I didn't really include it in this list. That's kind of a bonus one if you want to count it. I just think with this top 5 offense, this top 5 defense, I'm predicting this possible top 5 quarterback. I think an NFC Championship would be just assumed upon that was going to come hand in hand with it, and therefore I'm not predicting that as my bold prediction. But that is it for my second bold prediction. Rams having a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense. Final prediction, bold prediction, Aaron Donald wins his 4th Defensive Player of the Year and becomes the only player to break the 4 mark. The leaders in Defensive Players of the Year have won it 3 times. J.J. Watt's won it 3 times. Lawrence Taylor's won it 3 times. And Aaron Donald has won it 3 times. Those are the 3 leaders, each winning Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. Aaron Donald is going to break the threshold and have the most defensive players of any player in NFL history. Topping Lawrence Taylor, topping J.J. Watt. I think Aaron Donald is going to do it. Just based off what I seen last year, Aaron Donald didn't have more sacks last year. Just felt like T.J. Watt was a bigger effect. Yet the league is just in love with Aaron Donald. I think they're going to do it again. And I'm not saying Aaron Donald didn't deserve it last year, but I do think a lot of people believed TJ Watt deserved it more. And just with that being kind of 50-50 and a win in Aaron Donald's favor, I think we're going to see a similar thing this year. And I don't expect it to come down to those two again, but I could see it come down to Aaron Donald and a Joey Bosa on the Chargers' new defense, or on a Myles Garrett and the Browns' new defense. I could see it coming down to maybe a corner. Maybe he'll be fighting for it with the corner on his own team in Jalen Ramsey or an Xavier Howard or Jair Alexander. Either way, if Aaron Donald is healthy, 17 games, I see him getting 15-plus sacks possibly. Maybe not if they finally start triple-teaming him, but still, if Aaron Donald all of a sudden gets double-teamed still, triple-teamed still, and he's still getting 10, 11, 12, 13 and a half sacks like he did last year, I just think he's going to get it again. The league seems to favor him, and I'm not saying it's rigged by any means. I'm just saying the league is very pro Aaron Donald right now, and therefore I think if he puts up similar numbers that he has been, he's going to break the record of the most defensive players by any single player in NFL history. I'm for it. I love to see records broken. I love to see Justin Jefferson break all the rookie records last year. I'd like to see Justin Herbert break all the rookies last year. I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers. He broke the record for most 40 passing touchdown seasons last year. I like to see records broken, and I'm for Aaron Donald doing it. And I think he's going to do it. He's got the help of Leonard Floyd. He's got the help of Jalen Ramsey and Darius Williams in the back end, and he's well coached and well organized by Sean McVay. I think this entire Rams team is just going to feed off each other this year, and it's a big year for the LA Rams. But as always, guys, I do want to hear your opinions. Do you agree with these bold takes? Again, let's run through them. I do think Stafford will fight for a top 5 quarterback position. I think the Rams will have a top 5 offense and defense, and I think Aaron Donald will break the record and get that 4th deep win. So, as always, guys, let me know. And, of course, referring back to the question today, I got the Rams going around anywhere between 12-5 to 15-2 this year. I know that's kind of bold, or kind of not bold, a big range. If I had to narrow it, I'd say 13-4, 14-3. But I do think there's some flexible situations this year with 17 games. Players not used to playing this long, coaches not used to playing this long. I think we could see some weird things this year, and just so many big offseason moves. It might take the Rams a little bit to click with their new quarterback. So that's why I gave the big range. But if I was forced to narrow it down, 13-4, 14-3 seems perfect to me. But as always, guys, drop your comments down below, and thank you for watching 2-Minute Warning.